Welcome to Colourfest. So I'm going to start with an acknowledgement of country. I'd like to acknowledge that we're on the Wurundjeri land of the Kulin Nation. And yeah, I pay my respects to the custodians of this land, past, present and future. I'd like to acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded and a treaty was never signed. So now we're going to have just 1 minute silence and then we'll get into it.
One of the boys in my year said to me, "You can't play, you know. You must have come out of your mum's bum, your skin looks like poos," right? So when I first did that material, people just were like, a little bit teary in the room, and I'm like, "Oh, not in the room, dude, not in the room. Do that at home." So I had to work out how to turn it into a joke, and that's when I realised there's these three elements of joke telling when you're in a diverse crowd. So because everyone's going to get it at a different moment and deal with it in a different way when it's an emotional joke. So the way that one goes is I say, what he said to me was, when I saw there was a girl called Candy in our year, I knew she'd be fat. I didn't know she'd be black, but you must have come out of your mum's bum. Your skin looks like poos. Who'd want to kiss you? Yeah. That sound is the sound of a 5-year-old girl's heart breaking in 3 places. But I guess I was so shocked because, first of all, I didn't actually know I was fat. I didn't know I was black at that time. Didn't know that was different or unacceptable. And the news about the way my mother had given birth to me was shocking. She's an exceptional woman. I mean, that really took the cake. I love cake.
You know, this isn't really racist because this isn't as racist as this other thing. You know, like nothing cultural is ever as racist as, you know, Australia's immigration policy. Nothing's ever as bad as apartheid. There's always like some higher level that is the bar for what white people decide is racism. And so I guess working through performance like enabled us to talk about it in terms of our stories and experiences. In a way where people don't argue back in quite the same way. I think that they do if you write an essay or you give a speech.
Our portfolios range from advocacy to settlement and of course the arts, and we're working from an empowerment model which extends to our arts projects which are around its community cultural development framework, which I'll explain a bit later. Our organisational vision is to foster a society in which refugees and asylum seekers are welcomed, are respected, safe, and in which they can flourish and achieve their full potential. And I think that's really important, especially that second bit, to flourish and achieve your full potential. And I think that's where the arts plays a huge role.
Despite, the us and them that we do as humans, nothing belongs to any group. We've all borrowed and sort of made it our own. We add our little bits and we kind of go, oh, this is Somali, this is Scottish, But I think we've been borrowing from each other for ages, and that's not just with language or dance or ideas, with everything.
People always talk about identity in Australia, which I find really problematic because there's never an Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander person on one of those fucking panels. It's always these white folks talking about identity and, then like one Greek and then one Indian or something like that. And I think that it's extremely problematic to even work out what the word Australia even means, whether it's actually a legal term.
What happened was that the project coordinator, Dominic Golding, basically commissioned 9 artists of refugee and migrant backgrounds and said, express yourself in this urban environment. And that, like I said, is really, really rare, especially in the arts where if you're coming from these sort of backgrounds, you're expected to talk around a specific template of what a refugee is supposed to be and sound like and what migration is supposed to look like. So we're going beyond, these what's been termed frontline refugees. I mean, that term itself it can mean a myriad of things.
you know, I have had this thing happen of, tell us your story. And, you know, no credit, no acknowledgement, and at this stage in my life, I want to be paid. You know, and that's not happening.
For me, that opens up this huge space, and then for this fellow Joe Louis who thinks that to actually talk about your race, for me to say I'm a black woman and I'm oppressed, is small-minded. It's oppositional, but it's dangerous, because I go, then you deny the oppression. Then you think that it's all up to the individual. And the reason why our trans community are suiciding and are disabled in so many ways is their own fault. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, they just need to do better. That's what that thinking comes from, and I'm pretty sure that's not Martin Luther King's dream. But that's the twist, I reckon, in modern Australia today.
A wonderful phrasing I heard is by a historian and writer called Teju Cole, and he came to visit our resource library at Rise. And he said, not seeing representations of yourself in the arts, on stage and through literature, is an existential violence. When our stories do appear, it is from a third or fourth party perspective. It always has to be through the white privilege perspective. Because essentially this is where the power dynamic lies right now. And I think this is something what you were saying earlier as well. Not seeing yourself on stage is kind of like it's a bit of an uphill battle, especially when you're saying to people, theatre is fun, we can do theatre. I mean, sometimes it's kind of like, what more can you expect if people don't trust theatre? Of course they don't trust theatre. I mean, historically speaking, it hasn't really done much for them here in Australia.
I was angry for a little while. Because what Tania mentioned of calling me, emailing me, demanding my time, and sorry, it is expertise, because actually I don't know what I know because of the way I look. I know what I know because I've made efforts to learn it, researched, I've gone to uni, I've bought books, you know, actually paid money. So you have to, you know, somehow reward me for my time or acknowledge me in some ways. I don't get grants, I don't apply for grants, because there is a certain thing that goes with even applying for grants. And I know you can do certain language thing, but I don't even do that anymore, because there's something that's very Somali, and okay, other people can have it too, but from my point of view, it's very Somali, right? Because I don't know other people's experiences, and that is to be blunt, you know, to like say things as it is. And I'm not gonna go talking about, oh, you know, my refugee experience being horrific. Do you know that I was shot? I shared a room with my cousin. He had his kidneys out. You know, I mean, I'm not about to replay that on every application, you know, talk to you about, you know, whenever we're having a network, and because you want your life to be like, oh yeah, you know, tell me about your life. No, you know, just relate to me like a human and see my work as being a work of art. If you don't, okay, just don't waste my time, you know? and really that's where I'm at.
How do we make sure the door doesn't shut behind us? How do we make sure people actually I don't want to be an exception to the rule. You know, I want to create a pathway of success for people of colour. And I find in the acting and hip-hop community, people don't understand what I'm talking about when I say that. They go, you just wish that you know. I'm like, actually, no. It's not about me. It's what I want to see. It's what I want our kids to see. And forever and ever, you know.